You gonna start us with the theme song?
All right, we're rolling. You ready?
Yeah.
4 straight days of hoops.
I'm
The best
exhausted.
weekend of the year is over. We got plenty to recap, plenty to look forward to coming up on Thursday and Friday with the Sweet 16. It is the Height Differential. I am the 410 Nick. That is the 66 Neil. Before we jump in, if you're watching live or catching this later, make sure to subscribe to the Height Differential wherever you listen to pods. Rate it and leave a review. Also, follow us on social at Height Differential. Did you get your hoops fix in?
I'm
Neil?
exhausted. I'm exhausted. I
Well,
mean,
is
that's a
that
lot.
because of the hoops watching, or is that because of other extracurricular activities?
I mean, is it not a combination of everything? I mean, you've got 32 games in the first 2 days, then add another 16. So, I mean, we're at 40, 48 games in 4 days, something like that. Is that
Pretty
the
good
math?
math.
Is that the
Pretty good
math
math.
math?
And then you
I mean,
add
that's a
in
lot. I
the
mean, it's
Tuesdays and Wednesday with the play-ins, and you add all the women's games that we've been watching because been watching those too.
yeah. I mean, yeah, you ain't kidding. I mean, no, it's the best 4 days on the sports calendar, but then when Monday rolls around, you feel a little weary, a little tired. So now you got 2-3 days to regroup, and let's get ready for Thursday.
Well, I don't know about how weary. Like the tournament just straight turns to women's. The women's tournament on Monday keeps you going.
That does keep
There's
you
games
going.
all day, starting off with Louisville this afternoon, holding on to beat Alabama 69-68. They
Yes.
won't do anything easy, but they're
Nope.
marching on to their 13th Sweet 16 under head coach Jeff Wall. So congratulations to the Cards. It was fun to be there. Atmosphere was good for a noon game.
It was great. I mean, kudos to Card Nation. It said noon on a Monday to get almost 6,000 fans out there today. So, yeah.
So tournament turn towards the women's, but we'll recap the 4 days of the men's tournament here. But like you said, on Thursday, you get that CBS theme song. You watch the end of Price is Right because you can't wait for
That's
for the coverage of the basketball tournament to start. As soon as Drew Carey, it was better when it was Bob Barker, but now Drew Carey, when he ends it, tells you to get your pet spayed or neutered. You know that theme song's about to hit.
You're already juiced. You're down sitting in front of the TV, and you find yourself yelling at Susie and George of how much they overbid on the Showcase Showdown. Like, no, you idiot, that's too high. And then we roll right into the games. So yeah, you're right.
You can't beat it, and it's. I mean, I don't know how many years it's now been where they've had it on 4 different TVs where you can find every game, but it is the greatest thing ever.
Yes.
And yeah, my eyes are tired from watching hoops.
I mean,
And
we also watched it. Technically, we started on Tuesday and Wednesday of last week too. Those little, the playing games were all right. They were all right.
they were the Miami Ohio game. I guess. Do we need to start off with that before we get into the actual bracket? It's been almost a week since that went down. You were a Miami Ohio hater.
Yeah.
They took care of Smoo. It might be more the fact that Smoo is just not very good and shouldn't have been in the tournament. But if you're arguing who was going to get in, I think it was clear cut that Miami Ohio deserved to get in over Smoo, and it was fun for them to get the national stage. They had deserved that for what they did this season, and I know it didn't turn out their way against Tennessee, but just to have that one night, I think it was cool for the Red Hawks in Miami Ohio.
Yeah, it was fine. I mean, did they end up deserving to be in the tournament? I guess so. I mean, they earned it by beating. They finally beat a Power 4 team in SMU who did not look very good on Wednesday night last week. But kudos to Miami. Their offense, I was very, very impressed with the way they run their offense. A lot of backdoor action. They shot the ball really well. They were by far the better team. I'm over that ACC SMU team that got in that the playing game. So kudos to Miami. They did deserve to get into that playing game. They proved themselves, and then they got housed by the first actual good team they played.
Well, and I mean, Tennessee is just a physical team. They're athletic. They're just not a great matchup for them, and was not a close game. But we've talked a lot of Miami, Ohio on here. I feel like it was worth their due to kind of
I'll
give
give
them
them their flowers.
their flowers
They get
for
their
showing up
flowers.
against SMU. And But now I guess just kind of get into the tournament. We can go region by region because there's been so many games. We don't need to go into every single game.
No.
But if you look at the East region,
Yeah.
and this region is went almost completely chalk,
Yeah.
and I got every game right on my bracket.
I got
I don't know if you got it right because the what you said on the air last week that was changed the next day. I don't know when I can post shorts because you're changing your mind constantly. Did you get it? Did you get everyone right in the East region?
I got 7 out of 8 correct. I missed that Ohio State TCU game, which was a great opening game for the first game of the tournament, an outstanding game. TCU getting the bucket late and then forcing Ohio State, to not get off a good look at the end, forcing them to a half court heave that wasn't even close. So great game to start it off. But yeah, I got 7 out of 8. That was the one I missed.
And you talk about the ending there, and it's one thing I want to get into during this pod is talking about fouling at the end of games and end of game situations. And Ohio State had to go the length of the court. They had almost 5 seconds. It was like 4.5, something like that. They don't get the ball running downhill. They don't even get to half court. Like, just play defense. And obviously, the way that Ohio State, what they drew up is not what they actually were able to execute and do it the way they wanted to. But they caught the ball not going downhill because of that, got a terrible shot off. And I don't know. Everybody just keeps talking about it. In all these late game situations, after you see what happens, that they would foul. To me, that is an instance to show you why you should not foul. Just guard.
Yeah, well, that one was a 2-point game, right?
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're
No, but I'm just saying, like, just guard. Just
yeah,
guard.
no, I agree. But unless you're Todd Golden, you're not fouling up 2 and giving them a chance to tie the game.
We'll get
but
into that.
We'll get into that later. But no, East region, like you said, it was all chalk. I think probably the game of the first round there was probably, I'm going to guess, I mean, for me, it was that Louisville, South Florida game. And, we obviously have a lot of interest in Louisville being the local team here. They played really well. I don't know, about 30, 35 minutes of that game and kind of started turning it over a lot and ended up with, I don't know, was it 22 turnovers or something maybe? Something
It
high
was
like
ugly.
that.
It was ugly.
It was not great, but, they held on. They did what they needed to do. Isaac McNeely was on fire. Good for the Cars' first tournament win since 2017. So it was something that we needed, Louisville needed, PK needed, the fan base needed. A lot of people didn't have Louisville winning this game. If you listen to all the national quote-unquote experts, everybody was picking South Florida as the trendy upset, and Louisville shut that down. So it was good win in round one for the Cards.
Well, it's almost a good sign, I think, when all the experts are not picking your team. And you're right. Not a single person on national media picked Louisville to win this game. And because of that, Louisville goes on to win. They then played Michigan State, hung in there, was in striking distance. You're kind of hoping like the under 4, they were a little closer. But late in the game, it really was never a doubt. I don't know really what to say about the game on Saturday. I think Michigan State's probably just a better team.
Michigan State played better. I mean, the Cards, they were like you said, in striking distance most of the way. They were in that 5 to 7 point range. They'd cut it to 5 and, just hoping for that stop, and they couldn't get it. And they'd go back to 7, it'd go back to 9, then they cut it back to 5, but they had the ball one time, and I think midway into late in the second half where they had the ball down 3. They did finally get a stop, and then they missed a 3-pointer, and that was the closest that they got the rest of the way. But I don't know.
That Khalifa look in the corner, if it was kind of a rush shot. Like, that was where they were down 3, where they had a chance to tie it. If that falls, maybe it's a little different, but
yeah, Michigan State was the better team. Don't get me wrong. The officiating, a little questionable, perhaps.
no.
A lot of flopping on the Michigan State side and a flagrant 1 foul that I don't know how you call that when the man missed the ball by about an inch and just hit an arm, but it's what it is. It's fine.
Yep. Would have been fun to see what that run would have looked like with Michael Brown. I mean, they're going to be a lot better press offense with him on the floor. That's a big reason why they struggled against the press. It's because he's not in there. Just unfortunate the way all that went down. And I don't know. We're likely to not see Michael Brown in a Louisville uniform again. So,
but no, to me, that was the game of the first round.
The game of the first round, I think you're wrong. I think it was Duke Siena. Like, who expected Siena to hang in there, playing 5 guys almost the entire game, not using their bench one time, hanging in there, and they just ran out of gas. And you listen to Malik Brown at halftime, he's very honest and says, "You know what? We just kind of thought this was going to be a cupcake game, and we were overlooking them, and that's why they're hanging in there." And in the end, Duke just kind of wore them down and ended up winning by 6. But the fact that Siena had a chance to win at the under 4, I don't think anybody's expecting that. And now you've seen 2 coaches that lose in the first round. Jerry McNamara leaves Siena to go to Syracuse, and Brian Hodgson leaves South Florida to go to Providence, which I think is a really good get for the Friars.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he had his choice between Providence and Syracuse or staying in South Florida, and he obviously went the Providence route, which left McNamara going back to Syracuse. And we've talked about former players going back and coaching their alma maters, and a lot of times how that can or may not work, and a lot of times it doesn't work. But McNamara did a great job with Siena. I hope he plays more than 5 guys at Syracuse, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see what he can do up there.
And then the second round, the game of Sunday was St. John's and Kansas. St. John's leads almost the entire way. Looks like they're going to cruise, and then all of a sudden, Darren Peterson and Kansas kind of starts to make some threes, making a run at it, get some big offensive rebounds, and St. John's ends up with the ball with less than 10 seconds, about 6 seconds left because they had used 3 fouls to give.
Which I thought, we'll talk about fouling later. I thought that they did an excellent job of using those fouls to give, and then you just let them go right by you there at the end of the game. But when when you have all those fouls to give, like they made them run the clock down. It took off at least 13, 14 seconds.
They got it down to 6, I believe. That was what they inbounded it on that last play. But my thing is, like, I get it with the what? Was that not right?
I think it was less than that.
Okay.
I thought it was down to like 3.
It wasn't that short.
I'll look that up. I thought it was down to like 3 seconds.
But here's my thing with it. You've got fouls to give. I'm not going to go to 6 to where if I get a checking foul, I'm sending them to the line. And that's what you risk there is putting them to the line when it's not a shooting foul. So if I can use that 5th foul, I would do it. But Dylan Darlin, who hadn't scored the entire game, and we talked about him on the spot, how he really didn't do a lot the first couple of months for St. John's, and told Pitino that he wanted the ball, he wanted to get downhill, and when he turned the corner there was nobody underneath protecting the paint. He went to his right, even though he's a lefty, and was able to finish the play and get the 2 points to get St. John's the victory. What'd you find out there?
3 seconds.
3?
Foul on Flory Badungo with 3 seconds left. And when they started fouling, their first foul was with 13 seconds left. So they made them waste 10 seconds.
10 seconds.
So you get it down to 3. They're inbounding it from half court, basically. Like, you feel pretty good. And then you just let the guy just straight get to the rim. Like, I don't know how you allow that to happen.
And it wasn't that. There was also, like, it was just straight. It was clear sailing. Once he got past his guy, there's nobody there for help defense.
Nobody. Yeah.
Nobody there. And look, he's going his wrong hand. Like, he's a lefty. He talked about that post game and was able to finish that with his offhand.
Yeah.
So kudos to him. He's the first player ever to hit a shot at the buzzer that hadn't scored previously in an NCAA tournament, which is the man's asking for the ball when he hadn't scored.
That's kind of cool. Yeah.
And Rick and Pitino is like,
he talked about
let's go.
He talked about it. Yeah. And what was your stat? You said Rick Pitino, the 3rd coach?
So Rick Pitino now is the 3rd coach in college basketball history to reach a Final Four or reach a Sweet 16 in 5 different decades. He did with 80 with Providence, 90 with Kentucky, 2000 and 2010 with Louisville, and now 2020 with St. John's. There are 2 other coaches to do it. One coach has done it 6 times. Do you know who those 2 coaches are? Both of those coaches did it with the same school.
Mike Krzyzewski's got to be.
Kay did it 5 and also did it in 5 decades.
And somebody else did it in 6?
Somebody did it in 6.
Has Roy Williams done it in 6?
No.
No, not around long enough. Bob Knight? 6 decades.
He's got a new coach.
Jim Boeheim.
That is it.
Wow. Yeah, that makes sense.
And look, this is another reason why I don't think Jon Scheyer gets the credit that he deserves. Is like, look what Syracuse has done
You love some
since.
Jon Scheyer.
I just think I don't think he gives. I think we all just assume that Duke is just always going to be Duke because they didn't skip a beat. And
No,
we've seen so
that's
many
true.
of these programs when they lose their head coaches have such a tough time getting back to the level that they were. And now Syracuse is going to Jerry McNamara, has had zero success whatsoever since Boeheim has retired.
Yeah.
And I don't know. We just assumed that it was going to happen. And I'm not a Duke fan. I do not cheer for Duke.
Yeah.
It's the fact that
It is impressive. No, I agree with you.
they have not
Very
skipped
impressive.
a beat at all. I mean, look what North Carolina's going through right now.
Yeah.
Hubert Davis might not have a job next year.
Yeah.
I think it makes sense. Like, I don't know. He maybe deserves one more year, but I think it's definitely something that you would look at. You can't lose that game that they lost to VCU, and last year you barely get in, and I don't know. But so now you've got Duke and St. John's, Michigan State and UConn,
Yep.
Shire, Patino, Izzo, Hurley.
Quite a group.
Quite a group. On the bottom of the bracket in the South, I got some games wrong in this one, and I think a lot of other people did too.
For honestly, first round, I only missed one in the first round on that one, and that was the Texas A&M game. But
Yeah, I missed that
the
one
first
too.
round
And
was,
just watching that game, I'm like, you're an idiot.
I mean, it was mostly chalk except for well, Iowa was a 9, but VCU was an 11.
All nines won,
Well,
and I
10.
picked
Yeah.
all nines. So,
What else
in
did you miss another one in that first round?
no, just A&M. Um, this the game obviously of the first round in the South was the VCU coming back from 19 down against North Carolina. North Carolina was just killing them inside, and that's how they built their lead. And they went away from it. They went away from it. And Terrence Hill got hot. Nick Smith made some big plays. They ended up getting it overtime, and dude, that overtime was a dogfight.
It was tough.
Neither team could score. I think they went the first 2.5 minutes without a point in that overtime. Terrence Hill finally does hit a three, and VCU ends up escaping. I forget in regulation they had a chance to win and then turned the ball over, and then North Carolina almost scores going the other way to end it, and then we go to overtime. But yeah, then that's why Hubert Davis is on the hot seat. You had a 19-point lead to a VCU team that was one of the hotter teams in the country. They coming in, I think, winning 19 to 20 into the
Yeah.
tournament.
Yeah.
Other than that, really, in the first round, there really wasn't.
No, there wasn't anything really exciting.
It was Randy Bennett's last game at St. Mary's, as he is now the next head coach of Arizona State. A lot of teams losing in the first round, losing their head coaches
Coaches.
to go other places.
Yeah.
And then the second round in the South, Illinois just kind of puts it on VCU. Houston does the same to Texas A&M. But the other two,
Great
about
games.
as good as games as you're going to see in this
Great
tournament.
games.
And we can start with the Vanderbilt-Nebraska game. Tyler Tanner was just incredible again. And we had already seen the bucket by Owe on Thursday to start the tournament. And, dude, it looked like he had did the same exact thing from a
I
little
don't know
deeper.
how it didn't go in. I don't understand how that thing didn't go. I mean, you look at like the still frame of it, and it's halfway in the hoop and kicked back out. Good for Nebraska. Like, coming into this tournament, no wins in their over 100-year basketball history, no wins in the NCAA tournament. And they'd absolutely destroy Troy in the first round and then beat a very, very good Vanderbilt team in the second round. And
I mean,
Nebraska had struggled coming into this tournament a little bit. They the way that they started out the year so hot and winning all those games in a row to start it, and then, like I said, coming into the NCAA tournament, they dropped a couple.
well, yeah, I mean, you don't get to 20-0 without being a really good basketball team. Here's my thing. I think Vanderbilt, I talked about this last week, was underseeded. I don't think these two teams should have met this early, but two really good basketball teams. And you're right. It's the first time, obviously, that Nebraska's ever been to the Sweet 16 when you've never won a tournament game. That's going to be the case now because you've got Iowa upsetting Florida. Now you get a chance to play an Iowa team that you've split with. We'll get into more of that later in the show, but a chance to win another one for the Cornhuskers.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't. Let's see who do you know who won the regular season matchup?
They split.
Oh, you said they split. Yeah, so one of them in overtime looks like recently on March 8th, Nebraska got the win. In the I guess that was the right before the Big Ten tournament. So the last game of the season. Yeah, it's going to be a good game. I don't know. That one's a toss up for me. I don't know which way you can go. I don't know.
Well, you better figure it out because you're going to be picking who wins here in a little bit.
I'm going to ride the Nebraska train. We're going to ride the Nebraska train. We'll stay on it. We'll do it for Adam Field and the rest of the Nebraska fans out there.
But the biggest shocker would you say the biggest shocker of this tournament so far is Iowa upsetting Florida?
Yeah.
They led the majority of the game, but then Florida fought back, got a 4-point lead. Looked like, they kind of were just going to. I mean, national title defenders are usually hard to knock off. Now I've got some numbers here that say otherwise, but they got the lead up 4. But Iowa did not blink, and they're down 2 there late, and run that Sturts gets the ball, gets downhill where they're kind of chasing him, and then they find Fogelros, however you say his name, for the 3 in the corner to go up 2 or to go up 1.
Yeah.
And then Florida calls timeout, goes the length of the field, length of the court, and Lee gets underneath, really has a bounce pass there in traffic that
he got caught.
Can't get through.
Yeah.
And Iowa goes on to win. They are in the last 2017. They are the UConn team in 24, which was defending their title, is the only team that has got back to the Sweet 16 the next year. And of course, that UConn team went on to win the whole thing. Last year, UConn lost in the second round defending their title, and then Kansas lost in the second round, Baylor in the second round, Virginia in the first round, Nova in the second round, Carolina in the second round, and Nova again in the second round, dating back to 17. So other than that one time where UConn broke through, it has been tough sledding for national title defenders.
That's kind of a wild stat when you think about it,
Yeah.
Like that's crazy.
But after the game, or did you have something else?
Like I'm just like we were talking about how good of a game it was, and and how good of a team Florida. You had Florida as your number 2 pick, I think, in our draft, right? Yeah, and like how well they've been playing, minus that Vanderbilt game, and Iowa jumped on them early, and once Florida took that lead in the second half, they had the crowd behind them. They're playing in Tampa. It's a pro Gator crowd. I just expected Florida to just run with it and win this game. Kind of pulling away, but in that 8 to 10 point range, but Iowa just kept battling and battling and battling.
Well,
I mean,
dude, and here's the thing too. Like Bennett Sturts was 0 for 9 from 3 in this game.
Yeah,
and he's their best player. And the fact that Iowa was able to overcome that and beat a Florida team, like Chinyelu didn't score and only had 1 field goal attempt and 1 rebound. They took him completely out of the game. Condon and Hawk still combined for 40 points. You're not going to stop their front court completely. But yeah, you're right. Like once they got up 4 and
the crowd was
all
in
right,
it.
Florida's got it rolling. Like the fact that Iowa was able to take that punch and kind of come back and figure out a way to win late is impressive. And I think they won by 50 against A&M in the game before, or Prairie View A&M, and it's the most somebody's beat somebody and then the next game get knocked off, I think, in NCAA history.
It's happened twice. I actually saw that. It's happened twice. Kansas,
both in Prairie View A&M, right?
Prairie View A&M.
Yeah.
Kansas also beat Prairie View by over 50. came back and lost in the next round. Yeah.
But and look, dude, Ben McCollum is
Win some
the
games.
dude. The dude can just coach, and he is now what? He is now 35-8 in NCAA tournament play, and that does include D2 tournaments, obviously. But I mean, last year he won a game with Drake. He's now 3-1 in D1 and 32-7 in D2. I think he's proved that this dude just knows how to coach and knows how to win games when it's tourney time. He obviously did that with Northwest Missouri State in D2 level, and now he's doing it with Iowa. And I don't know. It's I never would have picked this game. Obviously, and I don't think many other people did. But good on Iowa. 10-10 in the Big Ten, and they're going to the Sweet 16.
That's crazy.
So, but I talked about it a little bit, the whole fouling thing. And Iowa has the ball, down 2, and like this is not something that even crossed my mind, but they allow Sturts to get it, and he's going downhill. Like that's the thing.
That's the first problem. Like that's the first problem is you let him not only catch the ball going with a full head of steam, but you let him get behind you right off the bat.
Yeah, you're being chased.
You're already chasing it before, like after 2 dribbles. Like that was the main problem.
Right. To me, it's just execute defense.
Yes.
And Todd Golden in his post game press conference is talking about how they wanted to foul. And what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? Like, you're up 2. You're gonna send them to the line. And look, I get it. This prevents you, I guess, from being able to lose in regulation for the most part. I mean, there's still a chance they make the first one, miss the second one, get offensive rebound, and tip it back in, and you can lose that way. There are other ways you can still lose. I just don't understand all this fouling talk. It's like I don't know. Like
No,
I get it, and I still debate it when you're up 3. I think there are times you can do it.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes when they're fouling with 9-10 seconds left and you're extending the game like that, it doesn't make sense to me.
He's completely wrong in this situation. Like you made the free throw to go up 2 with 8 seconds left. Why do you need to pressure full court? You don't. There's 8 seconds is plenty of time. Drop back a little bit because otherwise, then when you pressured full court, look what happened. You got beat right down the court. Play half court defense and just prevent them from shooting a 3, and you don't lose. You don't need to pressure the ball with 8 seconds. If there was 2 seconds or something, maybe 3 seconds, but 8 seconds, just play defense. Play half court deep. Pick them up at half court and guard the 3-point line. Instead, you let them get behind you. They hit a wide open 3. You're not fouling.
Because you're scrambling.
The most outrageous thing I've ever heard is to put a guy at the line to where he has 2 wide open free throws. Like there's no defense on that.
Gotta make your fouls.
Yeah, like I mean, no, I'm not putting the potential game tying points at the free throw line. I'm picking up at half court and I'm defending the 3. And then if they make a shot,
like obviously they didn't do that. And do you buy that was actually their strategy? Like there's no way he's just making that up in post game.
Was there a timeout? Was there a timeout call after he made the free throw? There was. Yeah, there was a timeout. So maybe it was. Maybe he had time in that timeout. He told his guys, who are you fouling in that situation? I was going to get the ball it was Sturts. You're not fouling Sturts.
Well, I think the play.
You're going to foul off the ball
when it gets out of Sturts' hands. Foul.
Right. So you're going to foul 50 feet away from the ball by just grabbing somebody's jersey,
and then you walk them to the line.
What? I don't.
How many how many late game situations, even in half court, have we seen teams just get off terrible shots because they don't execute and the other team just plays defense?
Yes.
Like in those situations, we're not even mentioning fouling because they guarded and they get off the worst shot. Like tie games in the half court where they don't need a 3 and they're shooting desperation 3s because they don't execute offense.
Yes. And this is exactly what should have happened in this situation up to. You don't pick up full court. You don't need to. You don't need to do it with 8 seconds left. I I mean, Golden's obviously a good
I
coach.
don't
He's
even think you need token
gonna win
pressure.
a title,
Just
but
you don't even need token pressure. Have everybody on the other end of the court.
yes,
Or maybe just have one guy waiting for the guy that gets the ball to kind of slow him up a little bit, but where he's in front of him.
yes. Like, the
Just full
one
court
thing that
man.
couldn't happen,
Full court
happened to you.
man, but you're staying in front and you're not letting them get behind you.
It was basically it turned into being a fast break off an inbounds play. It was a fast break.
Well, and dude, how much that corner three in transition is going
Every
down.
time.
Is
Every
going down.
time. Every time.
And
Brutal.
to be honest, you got the ball in a really good spot. Like if I'm Lee, I think you just shoot that.
Yeah,
Try
I
to draw
mean,
a foul.
you didn't have
And
to do
or
that.
put it up on the rim to where your front court guys can maybe try to put it back because they had time to do that.
I think maybe he wanted I don't know. I don't know what his thought process was. He got caught and then just the guy, I mean, I don't know who his pad was. He passing it to Condon, but no, it didn't even look like he was expecting it. Ball's tipped around. There's too much traffic in there. You just got to shoot that ball. But, well,
Going over to the West, the High Point Wisconsin game obviously was
yeah.
the game of the first round there. Just a back and forth game. The High Point has proven that they, we're gonna talk about as Cinderella NIL killed Cinderella, but High Point, and I've talked about how much money they have. They've got some money to spend, but I think they've proven that. I mean, it's very easily could have beaten Arkansas to get to the Sweet 16. So if you're
Yeah.
gonna say that Cinderella's dead, I think High Point is like, look, dude, we're hanging on. We're right there.
Yeah. No, I mean, we talked about this as being a potential, one of the trendy upset picks with the way that High Point could score the ball. I mean, are they the one of the top offensive teams in the country, if not the top offensive team in the country? They can score points, and they certainly put up 83 on Wisconsin and hung, like you said, hung really tough with Arkansas. But yeah, that was a tough one. I had Wisconsin going another round, so that was a bummer loss on that one.
I mean, that's what it's all about. You
It is.
sacrifice the bracket for
You do.
stuff like that. Uh, but the crazy thing was that it was Chase Johnston that actually got free on
Oh
that
yeah,
transition layup,
yeah.
and
We talked about him last week.
and what dude just does not shoot twos at all.
0 for 4.
Yeah, does not shoot twos, but then is the one that gets free. And dude, it was a pretty little finger roll too. I'm like, just put that thing in. Don't risk that finger roll. But and then Nick Boyd and Blackwell were both really good in that game too. Just didn't get a lot of help really. But look, that you gotta every single year we've got the 12 that beats a 5. I feel like, and
Mhm.
it's just do you pick the right one because we both talked about how this is going to be a tough game for Wisconsin, but neither one of us had the cojones to go against them.
No, I picked the wrong. So I picked a 12-5, but I picked the wrong 12-5.
Yeah. Um, in the second round, Arkansas does pull away from High Point late, and then Texas wins their third straight game to get to the Sweet 16, beating a Gonzaga team that I thought was ripe for an upset. I just had the wrong team beating them. Thought AJ DeBonsa would get a little more help than he got in that first round game. BYU just looked awful.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, Purdue, dude, we had counted them out, and Trey Kaufman ran in these first two games is looking as good as he's looked all year.
Yeah.
Just
Purdue seems to be, living up to the preseason hype, but they were preseason number 1 start the year, dropped several games along the way, and now they're rounding into form at the right time. They look good. They look like the team that everybody expected them to look like.
And then in the last region, Midwest, I think we got to talk a little bit about that first round Kentucky game against Santa Clara. Santa Clara gets the 3-point bucket with
I mean, it was the last
2.4.
11 seconds. Well, Owe ties
Yeah,
the game
you're
with
right.
11 on the
It
layup
was less
there.
than 10, I think, when it went in.
Yeah.
And then they go the other way. They get the 3 from the wing with 2.4.
They tried to call timeout.
Herb Sendek's trying to call timeout.
Yeah.
They don't give it to him. A lot of the Santa Clara guys are not
They're
even playing
celebrating. They've
defense
got their back turned to the
because
play
they're
almost.
celebrating. And then OA, it wasn't exactly a half-court shot. He was a little bit in front of the half-court line, banks it in, sends it to OT, and
It
then
wasn't like it wasn't
Kentucky.
contested. I thought Santa Clara, minus the two dudes that were celebrating, the rest of them, I thought played actually decent defense on him. There was a hand in his face, and
you also
that's just
let
one
him
of
get
those.
to that. You also let him get to that spot in 2.4 seconds.
Also, you didn't turn. Yeah, you
Yes.
got. That's the problem.
So you can contest the shot.
I mean, he makes that shot. What do you think? 1 out of every 20, maybe even less than that.
I would say no. I think it's inside the half court line. They shoot these shots every day in practice.
Yeah.
I think maybe 1 for 20 is about right. I wouldn't go any lower than that.
But I'm still not fouling. We go back to the fouling thing. I'm not fouling here either. When you're up 3 with less than, there's 3 seconds left. Just stop the ball. All I have to do is stop the ball from getting to half court.
First off, I wouldn't call timeout. But if I see my guy celebrating and they're not ready, then I understand why you're wanting to call timeout.
Did Kentucky not have any? Did Kentucky
they didn't have any timeouts?
Okay.
And
because Mark Pope probably would have called one.
I don't want to allow them to set up a play. So
I agree.
If you are just composed, which is hard to do, I get it. You just hit a game winner.
Yeah.
With what you think is a game winner with 2.4, you're naturally gonna celebrate. But if you just calmly defend, you win the game.
Yeah,
because they're always not going to get that close to the rim. He's not going to get across the half court line.
No.
So I understand why Herb Sendek was trying to call timeout because his guys were out of position celebrating. Ideally, I wouldn't want to call timeout, just play it out and guard. But in no world am I fouling on purpose and walking them 90 feet to the free throw line with no time coming off the clock and giving them an opportunity to make the first one, miss the second one, and get an offensive rebound.
I think that's more likely. I think it's more likely in the scenario that what happened and what played out. It's more likely that if you had fouled them and he makes the first, misses the second, they get a putback, than Owe making that miracle 3-point shot. Like I would put the odds of the make the first, miss the second, put back higher than the shot that he made.
You're also giving them a chance. Like it's a miracle heave. A miracle heave.
Yeah.
And it should have been tougher than it was. And it was still tough.
Yeah.
It was still tough.
Yeah.
And this is like we can revisit all this stuff after it happens and then be like, I'm gonna foul. But if Owe's shot hits the top of the backboard and banks back to midcourt because it's not even close, then we're not even discussing this. It's revisionist history. It's the fact that it went in. And now you're like, well, I would have fouled. I would have fouled.
There are times when I would foul. That was just not one of them. And the times that I would foul is if you're up 3, they've got the ball already in the half court, and there's 5 or 6 seconds left, something like that. I don't know.
That's the very minimum of what the clock. I think 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Because I've seen it happen where they're fouling with 9-10, and then they make both, and you come back down, and now there's still 7 seconds left.
Yeah, no, that's too.
And you're up 1, and then if you miss 1 of 2, now all of a sudden they've got the ball down 2 with 6 seconds to go.
No,
and you've brought it into a place and you're losing the game.
The ball has to be in the half court, and there's I think it's got to be around the 5 second mark. And there's a time to foul.
We've just gotten out of control with this foul late game situation. Like, and it's just easy to do.
There's a time to do it. There is,
but there also are not times to do it. And we're talking about fouling when there's not times to do it way too often right now.
I would agree with that.
And the Kentucky game and the Florida game are 2 games where you're not going to foul. And I get it. They both lost, but that's not why they lost. Play defense.
Agree.
Don't let Sturge get behind you and find a wide open guy in the corner.
That's the worst one.
Don't run down the court celebrating that you just hit a 3 and not defend.
Yeah.
Second round games, Michigan just what we didn't even talk about St. Louis. Georgia didn't even show up. So Mike White, I don't even know if they knew that they played in the first round. Alabama just makes a million threes on Texas Tech.
That was a butt whooping.
Puts them to bed really quick. The Tennessee Virginia game was a really good game.
Yeah.
This is one that I did pick correctly.
What's that? Tennessee, Virginia? Yeah, I mean, it was a good game. I mean, it was a one-possession game with, a minute left?
Yeah.
And there was a review. I think the ball went off Virginia, which gave it back to Tennessee. And, yeah, but, I mean, Virginia was chasing most of that game and just could never really catch up. I mean, they were down 5 at the half, lose by 7.
And Tennessee's now been to 4 straight Sweet 16. So is Alabama. 2 football schools that have been to 4 straight Sweet 16s. Jacoby Gillespie is just good, dude.
Very good.
And then Kentucky jumped out early on Iowa State. And next thing you know, they're down 30.
Yeah, Iowa State didn't shoot the ball very well in the first half. Dug themselves a hole. They were down 12, I believe, early on. And, clawed and fought and finally took a lead at the end, a buzzer beater 3 at the end of the first half to go up by 1. And then when they came out of the second half, they were just lights out, on fire, turning Kentucky over left and right.
Kentucky even the first half too, they're just turning the ball over left and right. And we're lucky to be down 1. And that was despite the fact that, like you said, Iowa State wasn't hitting threes. So it was kind of twofold. If you're Kentucky, you're like, oh, we're only down 1. I didn't feel like we played great. Had way too many turnovers. But if you're Iowa State, you're like, these shots are going to start falling and we're going to start pulling away.
I mean, what was the stat? Kentucky had 20. How many turnovers did they end up with? 20 turnovers, most in the NCAA tournament game. I think I've seen, or what I saw
in their history.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, Iowa State they can play defense. They're good.
Well, and Momcilovic is not going to miss. He's going to hit. He's going to hit 3 or 4 threes. Yeah. He's going to have it. He's the best shooter in the country. And they've got other guys. Lipsy's going to hit some threes. He started really getting in the paint and finding guys on the perimeter. Like, if these teams play 10 times, I think Iowa State beats Kentucky by 27 times. I just think they're 20 points better. This Kentucky team was not fun to watch all year. They were hard to watch. They weren't very good. If you don't have Otega Owe, wow, are they terrible. Like Aberdeen was good the last 10, 20 games, but overall, there was no way that they were going to beat Kentucky and get to the Sweet 16. Now, this is a stat on Kentucky. They have not been the Elite 8 for 6 straight seasons. That's 21-26. That is the longest streak in Kentucky history, which is pretty remarkable, honestly. The fact that their longest previous streak was 86-91, and that was the Eddie Sutton kind of going the beginning of the Pitino era when they're going through probation. We had an era. Tubby Gillespie was 06-09, was 4. Yeah, they're in their longest streak ever without being into Elite 8.
I mean, that fan base isn't going to put up with that either. Like, I mean, that's probably the most passionate basketball fan base in the country, and that's not going to fly in Lexington.
Yeah, they last year they were a 3 seed, got to the Sweet 16. I think that helps Pope a little bit. Does it help Kentucky's fans the view of the future of this program right now? I don't know if it does that. I think they're all pretty down on Pope. Like, this roster was just poorly constructed. And you had one point guard, he got hurt. And then after that, you didn't really have a backup plan. And it was pretty obvious. And I don't know. There's people want him fired right now. You can't fire him after 2 years when he's won 3 tournament games and got to Sweet 16 in his first year.
Yeah, we're not doing it.
But if they struggle next year to where they struggle to even get in the tournament, they don't have a recruit right now. If they struggle to even get in the tournament, then maybe you look at it. But dude, I was out watching games with a bunch of Big Blue fans, and let's just say the vibes.
Yeah, give me the vibes. How were the vibes at Joe? I mean, it was a nice day, 85 degrees, sunny. You know, I'm sure that the people were sitting outside on the patio watching the games. The drinks were flowing, and I'm first 10 minutes of the game, I'm sure the vibes were high.
Yeah, they were, and they died pretty quickly. At halftime, vibes were still okay because you're only down 1, but I'm also thinking, like I said, Iowa State hadn't hit any shots, and they're still up 1. But
Were there any
it I
tournament
will also I will also say this, it is both annoying and entertaining to listen to people drinking beers, watching games on the patio that clearly only watch basketball in March, and their opinions on the game, and specifically their opinions on the officiating.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's nothing.
Because
It's always against their team.
maybe the fact is your team's just they weren't very good.
Were any turnaround shots consumed?
Yeah, they did some they're still doing the Irish car bombs, dude. It's still March.
Did not work.
I stayed away from that.
Smart man.
I stayed away from that. So, we're now to the Sweet 16. The Big 10, 6 teams in the Sweet 16 with Michigan, Purdue, Michigan State, Illinois, Nebraska, Iowa. The SEC is second with 4, Arkansas, Alabama, Tennessee, Texas. The Big 12 with 3, Arizona, Houston, Iowa State. The Big East gets 2, UConn and St. John's. And then the lone ACC team in the Sweet 16 is Duke. There are 0 Cinderellas because there's no way in the world that you count 11 seed Texas as a Cinderella when they have more money than pretty much any program that is out there. This is now the second straight year where this has been the case. Last year we had all 4 ones get to the Final Four. That will not be the case this year. But Neil, I ask you before we get into these Sweet 16s matchups, is Cinderella dead? And is NIL the culprit for killing her?
No, I'm gonna say that it's not dead. I'm gonna sell that argument. I'm gonna say that it's not dead because you still had. I mean, you still have. We talked about the high points. Like as a 12 seed, High Point, they have money, so maybe this does kind of make your argument. But I guess a school like High Point goes out and beats a Wisconsin team. They hung right there with Arkansas. They easily. I mean, they were right. They could have won that game. I think you're gonna have another double digit seed get to the Sweet 16 and Elite 8 in the I would say in the near future. If it's not next year, you're like it's gonna be it'll be soon. I'm gonna say that maybe the transfer portal is more of a factor of killing NIL or is killing Cinderellas than NIL money because as soon as any of these dudes are any good, they're gone. Like they're gone immediately. So you're not gonna have that 30-point per game score at High Point or that 30-point per game scorer that's a senior at Troy or Akron or whatever. Like these guys are going to leave as soon as they show any glimpse of being good. They're going to be gone because they're going to because they can transfer in 1 year. They're gonna leave because there's money, but the transfer portal is allowing them is what's really allowing them to leave, and that's what I mean. That to me, that's what's killing it more than the actual money.
It's a combination. And am I going to come out and say that Cinderella's dead? No. But is it tougher?
Yes.
Yeah. Being somebody who worked at Morehead State and sees firsthand the resources that they have, and I was there before NIL and before the transfer portal, and you're already up against it then. And now just the discrepancy is even higher. And you're right. Like the problem is if you get a kid that's freshman all OVC, there's a good chance that he's going to be playing for a Power 5 the next year or Power
Yes.
4. And like the schools like High Point, because they have money, can put some money behind that and try to keep their guys.
They still can't
Places
spend.
like
They still can't spend.
they can't keep up the big guys, but they can at least give a number that might make them stay if they're comfortable being there and they want to stay there. They got to have loyalty to the program. There has to be a part of it because they're not going to get what they can get somewhere else. But there are some mid majors that have some money that they can throw behind it to be like, look, we can't give you what Michigan or Kentucky is going to give you, but we can give you this, and you make your decision. And there's going to be some kids that decide to stay. But it's just, it used to be that the Power Fours had this much of advantage, and now it's increased more.
It's increased more. And going back to your point on like the Morehead State and be like a Cinderella, like back in the day before NIL and before, you could transfer without sitting out, like the Kenneth Farieds of like Morehead State back then, he would have left even if NIL wasn't a thing. If he was getting paid no more money to go to Duke or Carolina as he was at Morehead State, he still would have left if he had the opportunity to just go play right away. Because you're going to want you'd rather play in the ACC, you'd rather play on the big stage, and you're on ESPN every night, and you're like that's going to help your draft stock. Like guys would leave even if NIL wasn't a thing because they can leave without penalty of sitting out.
100%, and you saw it firsthand. I mean, Kenneth Faried was there 4 years, and then Janiah Broome comes in and is all of you see as a freshman. Does come back for his sophomore year, but there's no way that he's coming back for his junior year, and he finds his way to Auburn, and that's just. You got to constantly refill your roster because you've just got the guys that are successful are likely going to leave. And it's like if I got this freshman, I kind of want to hide him a little bit, but so everybody doesn't see him. And like, you can't really do that and be successful. So is it dead? No, it's so much tougher. Will we get to where we're seeing VCUs and Florida Atlantics and Loyolas get to the Final Four again?
It's going to be tough.
I don't know about that. Now, do I think they can get to the next week? Yes. I mean, and I think High Point proved that.
Yes.
I think VCU was a good enough team to get to the second weekend if they didn't run into an Illinois team and if Nick Smith didn't get hurt with 1 minute into that game and where he didn't come back in. But I don't know if we'll ever see it in the Final Four again.
It'll be tough. I must never say never, but it is going to be tough.
But that's not Cinderella. Cinderella doesn't have to get to the Final Four to be a Cinderella.
No.
Cinderella.
Like St. Peter's was a Cinderella. They got to the Elite Eight, and
even if St. Peter's loses their second round game, that's still a Cinderella story, beating a 15 beating a 2.
Well, to your point, you almost saw a Siena team beat Duke, and Duke was the best team in the country for most of the year, and they still might be, So it's not dead. It's harder, but I don't think it's dead.
I agree. So before we get into the matchups, we did this little draft. 2 weeks before the tournament?
Yep.
The draft went you, Duke, me, Michigan, me, Florida, you, UConn, you, Arizona, me, Houston, me, Illinois, you, Sparty, you, Gonzaga, me, Iowa State. Who is in better position? You've lost one team with Gonzaga. I've lost one team with Florida.
We're both guaranteed to lose one team in the next round because we play each other. I've got Michigan State playing UConn, and you've got Houston and Illinois. So we're definitely guaranteed to lose one in the next round.
I'll be honest. I don't know if Illinois defends enough. I think 4 of my 5 teams that are alive can win it all. I look at yours. I think 2 can win it all. I think Duke and Zone. I don't think UConn can win it all right now. I don't think Sparty can win it all.
Well, Duke and UConn are also in the same region, so one of them can't win it.
Well, I mean,
yes, I see your point. Yes.
Do you agree?
Based on the remaining teams, we both lost one. We're both going to lose another one. I think I don't want to admit it, but your remaining teams I think are a little bit better than mine. I do have Michigan winning the title over Houston in the championship game, so both of those are on your roster.
Well, and here's the funny thing.
I mean, last week I had Michigan over Duke in the rematch.
Yeah, but you'll change your mind in 2 days anyway, so it doesn't matter.
I flipped.
Like all this is irrelevant. You got to go to the paper to figure out what his real picks are, people.
I mean, you dive in a little more on the matchups, and then, after thinking
No,
about it
no,
on
what you
Tuesday
do is you
after thinking
prepare for
about it
the
on Tuesday
show.
and Wednesday,
You
after thinking about it
prepare
on
for the show and be prepared when you go on air.
I
You
didn't
be
have
ready
time.
to go.
The pairings were announced on Sunday night, and we went right into the thing on Monday. I
It's
finally
one
had some
whole
time to
day.
dive into it.
It's one whole day.
I had to work. We had to get
But
prepared for
here is
let's
the
get
funny
prepared for a
thing.
different tournament.
You picked Michigan to win it all, which is on my team. I picked Arizona to win it all, which is on your team. The crazy thing is that Arizona was the 5th selection in our draft just 2 weeks before the tournament.
That is crazy.
And I would have picked them at 3, but I decided to go Florida just because they were playing so well. That was a tough decision for me. And then you went UConn over Arizona at 4, but you ended up getting them at 5.
Well, I had back-to-back picks, and yeah, I could have taken Arizona. I don't know. I like your team currently a little bit more than mine, but it's not over. Not over yet.
All right, getting into this week. Duke, St. John's, Michigan State, UConn. What you got?
Well, after the
And
Siena game, I was a little bit down on
and
Duke.
make sure you do a disclaimer that you didn't know we were going to have to pick these games and that you'll change your mind in 2 days.
No, I'm not changing my mind yet. I'm not changing my mind on this. I mean, I was a little bit down on Duke after the performance against Siena, but they bounced back. It took them a while to pull away from TCU, but they did, and they absolutely hammered them in the last 10 minutes. So they look like Duke again finally. I'm picking Duke. Give me the Duke Blue Devils over St. John's.
And this stays consistent with your bracket.
It does.
Uh, and then I picked St. John's in my bracket, and I'm sticking with that. Pitino's going to make them play the game his way. And I think Zuby can match with Cameron Boozer down low.
That's gonna be a matchup. That's gonna be a matchup right there.
I think they are going to absolutely just try to pressure Caden Boozer all game and to see if he can handle that pressure. I think St. John's is just the way they're playing right now. They've got confidence after hitting that game winner. They're going to try to dominate the paint. They're going to try to create turnovers. Duke turned it over a lot against TCU. I know it didn't matter because they really that game wasn't close, but they had 17 giveaways in that game, and something like that is going to make Rick Pitino's eyes kind of light up. And look, like I said last week, you got to take chances in your bracket. You got to pick some upsets. I think this is an opportunity for one, and I'm rolling with
It's an opportunity for one. Yeah, I mean this would get you a huge boost if you pull this one off. So I don't know. Edge 4 can stay out of foul trouble. I mean, it could be a game of who's in foul trouble early. Edge 4 gets Boozer in foul trouble. Advantage St. John's. If it goes the other way, and Edge 4 has to sit on the bench for most of the first half, advantage Duke.
Well, and dude, if St. John shoots the 3 ball, if Bryce Hopkins hit 6 threes like he did last week against Kansas, that
They
makes me like
they
their chances
normally
even
don't
more.
shoot it very well. They're not a very good shooting team, are they?
They
St.
shot
John?
30 threes against Kansas. I think that was if their season high was close to it. I wouldn't expect them to shoot that many on
And Duke can defend.
Friday.
Duke's one of the better defensive teams in the country. Like Duke can get after it on the defensive end.
Yeah, and they want to slow it down, limit your possessions. That was a big reason why they beat Michigan. They held Michigan to like 60, 62 possessions, which is one of the lowest amount of possessions that Michigan's had this year. They're going to try to do the same thing against St. John. St. John's doesn't normally get limited in possessions like that. So this is one of the obvious. All these games are going to be great, but I'm really looking forward to that game on Friday night. Michigan State, UConn. I believe you were rolling UConn originally. Nope. You were rolling Michigan State. Okay.
Yeah, might have been rolling UConn originally, but in the official bracket,
I can't keep up.
I've got Michigan State, and I'm gonna stay with that pick in Michigan State. With Fears and Carr. If Carr can play like he did against Louisville, then I mean he was just a man amongst boys. I mean he was unbelievable on Saturday. But we'll go Michigan State. We'll keep it consistent.
Yeah, I went UConn. I'm still gonna go UConn. It was good to see Silas Demery back in the lineup. after sitting out their first round matchup. UConn has not been shooting the ball well from deep. I think they're going to have to do that to beat Michigan State. It's going to be the Cooper Terrace Reed matchup down low. I think is going to be really important. I mean, Michigan State just wants to make this game ugly, right, and turn it into a slugfest, and that's what Tom Izzo's teams always try to do. Um, but I think it'll all come down to, can you limit Fears? Can you keep him getting in the paint to create opportunities for others? And Michigan State's gonna just pack that pack that defense and make you shoot over top of it. And UConn has not been doing a great job of shooting threes, but I think maybe they'll get that done on Friday and get the win over Sparty. But God, like the fact, like I know we already mentioned, but just those four coaches, and we've been talking about it forever. But this looks like it could be a Final Four.
Oh yeah, those 4 teams right there, absolutely.
Then in the South, you've got Iowa, Nebraska, Illinois, Houston, 3 Big Ten teams. Iowa and Nebraska have already played twice this year. They split. Iowa won at home 57-52 in a just what that's a absolute rock fight. And then
Well,
Nebraska,
that's when Hoiberg slapped the kid's phone when that was a
yeah,
night. Yeah,
yeah.
phone slapping incident.
And then Nebraska returned the favor, winning at home 84-75 in overtime. Who you got in game number 3?
Going with let's go with the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Keep riding that train, that momentum. A big win over Van. They look really good against Vanderbilt. I mean, I know Iowa looked good against Florida and the way Florida was playing too, but give me the Nebraska Cornhuskers to pull that one out.
I'm going Nebraska too. They were one of the hottest teams in the country. Starting off 20-0, and I think they're kind of getting in that groove again. Bennett Sturts will be the best player in the court, but I just think overall Nebraska has a better team. And 10, like we still have to remember that Iowa was 10-10 in Big Ten play, and to me that matters. Uh, they turned
But
it
you
over a
look at
lot.
you look at how good the Big Ten is with the amount of teams they've got still alive. I mean, 10-10 in the Big Ten isn't as bad as it sounds.
No, you're right, and I think that's a fair point. In both of the matchups, Iowa has really struggled turning the ball over against Nebraska's defense. They turned it over 20% of the time in game 1, 26% of the time in game 2. I think they'll do that again, and that's why I give the nod to Nebraska. This next game, Houston, Illinois, like everybody thinks about Houston as just such a good defensive team. Illinois, a lot of their metrics say they are the best offensive team in the country. When you're got a team that's of the caliber defense like Houston and the offense like Illinois, who do you take in that one?
Tough one. I'm going with the offense of Houston in this one. They just seem like they're playing some of their best basketball of the year. Like that game against Arizona in the conference tournament was a great one. I think they're playing probably they're one of the best 3-4 teams left in the tournament, and I don't think Illinois is that. Illinois is good. I just don't think that they're great on the level that Houston is right now. Jimmy Houston. I mean, they're favored by 3.5, so it's going to be a close game, but I'm going with Houston.
I'm going Houston too, and like both these teams are great rebounding teams as well. I just think that Houston's got a chip on their shoulder, get as close as they did last year. I think their defense is going to keep them in the game. Illinois is going to have to shoot it well. Keaton Wagler is going to have to he's going to have to find ways to get into the lane and create for Jake Davis and those other guys to make some threes. But Kingston Fleming's dude and Emmanuel Starp and Uzon, like I'm leaning that way. I can't go against Kelvin Sampson here. I do think Illinois is really, really good, but I got to lean Houston.
Yeah, and Houston's coming off. I mean, they've got the experience of making it all the way to the end last year. Um,
They're
Kelvin
also
Sampson,
playing at home.
and they are playing at home. That I think that's also a huge factor that they can't be overlooked. Yes.
Moving to the other side, you've got Arizona, Arkansas, Texas, Purdue. Arizona, Arkansas. There's a lot of pros. There's a lot of pros in this
A
game.
lot of pros on that one. I'm going Arizona, even though I really do like Arkansas. Arkansas is playing their best basketball this season. I mean, Acuff is just a star, absolute star. And if Brazil's knocking down the threes and he's playing the way he's been playing, this could be right for the upset. But Arizona's been just consistently good all season. They've beaten tremendous teams along the way. They've lost, twice? Give me the Wildcats.
I think if you match these teams talent for talent, it's very close. But I think at some point, Arkansas, who really is only going 6 deep, I think it has to catch up with them. And I think when you're playing a team who right now I think is playing better than anybody else in the country, I think this is the game where it catches up with you. Arkansas struggles tremendously in transition defense, and that's something that Arizona, I think, is going to take advantage of. Now, if Acuff goes up and has 35-40, could Arkansas pull this game out? Absolutely. 100%. And he's going to get help, like you talked about it. Brazil's been good. I think Ewan is a X factor in this game. Billy Richmond is an all SEC defender. But, I mean, then on the other side, you've got Jaden Bradley and Braden Murray's and Koa Pete. Like, there's a reason why I picked Arizona to win it all. And there's a lot of teams that are left in the Sweet 16 that I would pick Arkansas to beat, and they're just matched up against one that I don't think they're going to beat. Now, like I said, Acuff could go off for 45 and figure out a way to win it by himself.
It's possible.
I look at the Purdue-Texas matchup. I think it's a bad matchup for Texas, and
Yeah,
I think Purdue rolls.
I don't think it's going to be close either. I mean, especially the way that Purdue's playing. If Kaufman are in and Braden Smith and Fletcher Lawyer, and if they're going to keep playing the way that they've been playing, this isn't going to be a close game. I think Texas, they barely escaped in that playing game. They played a bad BYU team, in my opinion, and then a Gonzaga team that I thought was underrated, and they turned out to be overrated. I know they were banged up.
They're missing their best player.
They are missing their best player. I understand, but I think it comes to an end for Texas, and I think it comes to an end double digits.
Here's all I'm going to say about this game, and this is why Texas barely got in the tournament. Texas ranks 334 nationally against top 5 competition defensively. So,
yeah,
that's going to come back that good. And the way that Purdue is just playing offensively, and dude, Braden Smith has not shot the ball well in the first 2 rounds. I think he's going to shoot it a lot better moving forward.
Yeah, didn't even make a 3 in his last game.
Give me Purdue all day.
Going double digits? I think the 6.5 is what I see on here right now.
Yeah, I would take them to cover.
Yeah, I think that's probably accurate.
Then we get to the Midwest: Michigan, Alabama, Tennessee, Iowa State. Who you got?
I mean, if Alabama wants to shoot the ball and play the way that they did the other day, then they're going to give Michigan a game. But Yaxel Lindenberg is just an absolute monster. He's the best player to me in the country, even better than Boozer. So give me Michigan to win this game. But I think this is going to be it's going to be closer than I think most people would expect. But give me Michigan.
I don't know how Alabama guards Michigan, and I don't know how they rebound.
But if they shoot it, they can shoot it. I mean, they're going to have to try to outscore them. They just got to try to outscore them.
That's the only thing that they can do. They physicality-wise, they cannot stand toe for toe with Michigan. And Alabama has struggled against teams that out-physical them, like Arizona and Florida. They got out-rebounded by 11 plus. Purdue out-rebounded Alabama by 24. I think Michigan will try to do the same. Now, look, if Alabama goes off and hits 19 threes, like they get against Texas Tech, then yeah, they've got a chance. But I don't see that happening in back-to-back games.
I mean, that's how Wisconsin beat Michigan early in the season, was by just getting hot from 3.
Yeah,
just outscore them. You're going to have to outscore them. Like, this game's going to have to be in the 80s, 90s for Alabama to have a chance. Probably in the 90s.
Yeah, for sure. They've got to at least hit 15 threes, I think, to even be in the game. and they had 19 yesterday. So will they continue that? I mean, Philon's one of the best players in this left in this tournament. So it's not like you don't have dudes. It's just Michigan has more dudes, and they're bigger and they're stronger, and they'll guard and they'll rebound. And Alabama doesn't want to do any of those things. And then the last one, Tennessee, Iowa State. This could be another tough one. I'm leaning Iowa State because that's who I have in my bracket. I'm sticking with my bracket. Who you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Iowa State as well. I was impressed with the way that they defended against Kentucky, and we all know that they can shoot the ball. I mean, yeah, I mean their best player went down against Tennessee State on Friday, but they bounced back and didn't show. I mean, a lot of signs of that affecting them against Kentucky. So I think they'll be fine. Give me Iowa State.
Dude, I just think this Iowa State team they've been ready for this. They've got a lot of the guys that were there last year. Taman Lipsey's been there all 4 years. He's from that area. He's motivated. But that matchup, Lipsey and Gillespie, is going to be awesome. And then the Nate Ament and Milan Momcilovic. Milan Momcilovic! Like, if you're playing video games and just banging threes, dude, how fun would that be? Just to constantly hit threes with him and yell his name at your buddy when you're just shredding him.
Well, we all know Carl would do that
on March Madness. Would be awesome. Here's the one thing that maybe could lean into Iowa State's favor is the fact that Tennessee is the best offensive rebounding team in the country. And in all of Ohio State's losses, their defense has given up a 31% or higher offensive rebound rate, which could keep Tennessee in the game. I just think that this Iowa State's prime for this moment, and we'll get past the Tennessee team that has the talent, but has been up and down all year. And they had an up weekend last weekend. I expect them to take a little downturn this week, especially against an Iowa State team that I think is ready for the moment.
Has there been an update on the Joshua Jefferson? Is he out?
He's not. He's not going to play. I think there's very small chance. It didn't look good. I mean, he wasn't even putting any weight on it.
He was in a boot, and yeah. I mean, yeah. No, I still think that they can win with it.
I mean, he's their best player. It does suck, but yeah, I think they can still win this game. I don't know if they can get past Michigan without him.
I mean, they just beat a Kentucky team that beat Tennessee twice.
Well, what did I just say about Tennessee? But they're up and down. Like, you just don't know what you're gonna get, and you're like, oh, they turn the corner, and then they blow a 10-point lead and lose late. Like, that's just what they do. And Rick Barnes he's 4 straight Sweet 16s, but they've never been to the Final Four, and they ain't getting past Iowa State and Michigan to get there. This ain't the year for their first ever Final Four.
Not the year.
Some of we looking back at the first weekend, CBS Sports did a like an all first weekend team. They had Acuff on there. Tyler Tanner, dude, was just a beast for Nebraska. Had 27 points in that heartbreaking loss and had 26 against McNeese, and then almost made that. What would you call that? Not a 3/4 court shot, a little bit closer than that. Between a 3/4 and a half court?
It was about 3/4 court shot, right? It was, yeah. Between the free throw line. It was between the free throw line and half court.
They got Rob Martin at High Point on here, Sega Owe at Kentucky, and then Caravan at UConn. And then the second team was Fears, Taman Lipsey, Kobe Gillespie, Lindenborg. I don't know, just kind of cool to see who they had as the rulers of the first weekend. What game are you looking forward to the most this week?
This week, it's got to be the Duke St. John's game, I think, with Pitino and Shire. Like we talked about it, we've already gone over it. I still have Duke, but don't doubt Rick Pitino in March, man. He's done it before, and he's on his way to doing it again.
And you went Rick. I'll go Cal, and I'm really looking forward to the Arizona Arkansas game. this game has more pros than any other game that's left in this tournament, and I don't think Arkansas is gonna win, but just watching that many pros go at it is it should be fun. But Kentucky and Louisville not in it, but Rick and Cal are. So
I'm
it's just
I'm putting Illinois Houston as my honorable mention.
yeah. Well, and a lot like Michigan State, UConn, like
That one's all right.
it's gonna be fun this weekend. And then you're off to Fort Worth to follow the women's team.
Yeah, got confirmation that we leave on Wednesday. Didn't really talk much about the Cards game today, but Louisville's still in it. Sweet 16, another one for Jeff Walls and our women. Fantastic performances all around from Elif Istanbuloglu. Taj Roberts was on her game today, and same with Laura Ziegler. So those three stepped up big time today when Amari Berry didn't have her best game, and McKinley Randolph is just an absolute beast now. She's the last 5 games she's got
Every game is automatic.
She's 1 point away from another double-double today. She's had 3 or 4 in the last 5 games, so she's absolutely just a phenomenal player, and it's going to be tough against Michigan. Michigan women, absolutely. I forgot who they played yesterday, but they just beat the tar out of them. NC State beat them by 30, so it's not going to be, nothing's easy now. Like, this is where you get into the ones and the twos. Like, women's basketball is usually all chalk, minus a big win for Virginia today at Iowa, knocking the Hawkeyes out as a 2 seed. But this is where you got to come with your A game. It's time to play.
Well, another Notre Dame, another ACC team with an upset, winning at Ohio State.
6/3. Yeah, 6/3. When you've got Hannah Hidalgo on your team,
Look, it looked like it might happen today at the Yum Center. So you don't take anything for granted. All you're trying to do is move on and play that next game.
But when you got Hannah Hidalgo on your team, there's not very many upsets you can call when Notre Dame rolls to town.
Well, they probably shouldn't be a 6 seed. They played themselves to a 6 seed, but they probably should have been a little better throughout the year.
Yeah.
But no, good on the Cards. Like I said at the beginning of the show, 13th Sweet 16 in Coach Walls' 19 years. When they had not been to a Sweet 16 prior to him coming there. Just impressive stuff. And you talked about McKinley Randolph. When they couldn't hit any free throws at all, she calmly knocked down 2. They kind of settled the ship a little bit. And then I know Amari Berry did not have her best stuff today, but
she had 2 clutch ones.
Couple times this year, she hasn't been able to hit late free throws, and she did that today. And without those 2,
yeah. And then a big shot, Raina Scott, I think was her only 2 points of the game, was that floater to put us up 6 with under a minute left. So that was another big moment for her. Great atmosphere, great time. Looking forward to going down to Texas.
Hey, give me Walls with a couple days to prepare.
Yeah, got till Saturday, so he's got a couple. He's got more than a couple.
Go look at their record in Sweet 16 games. It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
But another local team, if we want to talk about the Kentucky women, 1-point win today at West Virginia, the 5 seed over the 4. Sweet 16 for Kenny Brooks at Kentucky, and the first time Kentucky's been in the Sweet 16, I think, that I saw since 2016, 17, somewhere around there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Kenny Brooks, a great coach. They will also be in Fort Worth, Texas. They're in the same bracket as Louisville, or same region as Louisville. So Kentucky's got Texas, Louisville's got Michigan. We'll see what happens.
Go ahead and knock off the Longhorns there, Kenny.
Yeah, go. Little Cats Cards to go to the Final Four. That'd be some fun. Be a lot of fun.
But like, if you haven't watched the women's tournament, watch it. Like, it's just as fun to watch as the men's. I love the fact that Monday it's just all women's basketball. I like how they stagger the games throughout the day. I think the men should do a better job of staggering their games on Saturday and Sunday, where they've got the 2 games solo and then all of a sudden you've got 3 games at a time. Like, do a better job of staggering your games. Start them at 12. And look, I get the women's has an advantage of it because all 8 of their games are in different sites. So it makes it easier.
It does make it easy.
But they still could do a better job of staggering games and not having 2 standalones at the 12 o'clock and the 2:30 windows. But I'm really nitpicking because it's
But like
about as good as it
if you're a
gets.
basketball fan, if you tuned in today to women's basketball, there were multiple like Louisville wins by 1, Kentucky wins by 1, double overtime, Virginia upsets Iowa. And then, you've got, like you said, you got Notre Dame that upset Ohio State. That was a good game. I mean, just 4 good games right off the bat before you even eat dinner. So
But
it's a quality product. Like it do
we
what?
we gotta do something about the monitor. Like,
Yeah.
the end of that UVA,
Well, the Kentucky game as
Iowa
well. The end of
game
the Kentucky game had review after review after
is
review.
just brutal. It's
I don't know.
brutal. And
You wanna get it right though, but
but look, quit not calling fouls on the actual play and then running the next play and then going to the monitor, and it wasn't even a foul, but now it's a flagrant.
that doesn't
Like,
really
that makes no sense.
it makes
You
no sense.
didn't even stop action. You played on.
It makes no sense.
So you obviously didn't think it was a foul. And now you go to the monitor and you can't just call it a foul, so it's either a flagrant or nothing. But how is it a flagrant when you didn't even call it a foul to begin with? Now
Disagree.
I get it if it's an elbow, like I don't even get that either. But it happened twice down the stretch in that UVA Iowa game. Like UVA already had the ball and didn't score. They went to the monitor to look at the rebound previously and then put Iowa on the line for 2 and gave them the ball. Like, what are we doing?
What are
What are we doing?
UConn continues to roll. Gotta shout out to the Huskies. They continue to roll as the best team in women's basketball again. They won by 50. I mean, it's just they're good. They're
Well,
good.
Neil, 37 consecutive Sweet 16s? Before we get off, let me confirm that. 32. 32. So I was off by 5. 32 consecutive Sweet 16s.
And what, they've missed one Final Four and
They've been to 17 of 18
decades.
Final Fours. They've
Yeah.
been to 17 of 18 Final Fours.
That's just stupid.
It's the Final 3. Like we should change the banners. We should change the banners
What
at
it is.
the KFC Yum Center. It should be the Final 3 because
is.
UConn is. And look, I can't say that's my line. I stole that line from the head coach of the Cards.
He comes up with some good lines from time to time.
No, excited, dude. Just give me a chance against Michigan. Like you're at this point now where just roll them out there, see what happens. And it was good to see Taj get some confidence today. Hopefully that carries over. Love the way Laura was just egging her team on, egging the crowd on. E was great. Mac's been awesome. Amari will show up.
Amari's fine.
Let's see what happens. Let's get to another Elite Eight. And then let's just watch hoops again all next weekend.
Here we go.
So did your Final Four change since last time? Before we get off, just to confirm so everybody knows who your picks are since you change them every 3 days?
No, the Final Four did not change. My final game changed by one team. I always had Michigan, but
So you're Duke, Houston.
Houston, Arizona, Michigan.
So you're 3 1s and a 2.
Yeah, and last week I said Michigan gets Duke in the championship game. They win. They
Well,
get
this
the
has now
revenge.
changed.
It has changed. We got Houston now. We dug in the weeds. We dug down in the weeds, and we pulled out a Houston.
Well, mine did not change. Mine did not change. We still got Houston beating St. John's and Arizona beating Michigan and Arizona beating Houston to win the whole dang thing.
We got Michigan over Houston. So go blue.
I will say, like, my bracket is 95 percentile. And in my Survivor League, where you got to survive and advance and pick a different team every day, we're in second place right now. We picked VCU in the first round to get 11 points to kind of give us a head start. We rode with Tennessee yesterday. So trying to figure out who I'm going to roll with Thursday and Friday.
You still have both of your teams alive? Or?
One team, Gonzaga, screwed me. And see, the thing about this is you wanna pick somebody you think's gonna win this week, but probably not the next week because you don't wanna have to pick them again. And I thought Gonzaga could beat Texas,
I did too.
and they
I,
screwed me.
yeah, I did too.
But happy March, everybody. We do not have a "What would Joe do?" this week because
He did send
I
one.
texted I texted him right
He
before the
sent one.
show.
We have gone
Did he
long.
send one?
He did send one. The show's gone long. We could do a quick one if you want.
Do you wanna just go with this one off the top?
Yeah. Which one? The one he sent? Yeah, why not?
You can never leave the state of Kentucky again, or
Or the state that you live in, if you don't live in Kentucky.
right, or only friends with people you met post-college, family excluded. Well, what does that mean?
That means
Only
yeah, that
you
means
can
you can only
only
be friends with people you met post college. Like all your childhood friends, you can't be friends with anymore if you want to leave the state. Oh,
uh,
that means no Carl for you.
that's about it, though.
I mean, everybody I hang out with now is basically post college. Give me the post college. Just being trapped in the state of Kentucky for the rest of your life just sounds
That'd
kind
be
of cool.
awful.
You can't
It'd
go on
be awful.
vacation. You can't go on vacation. You can't do anything. You
Wait,
can't travel for anything.
this is it it's a tough beat for Carl, bro. It's like my best friend since I was a junior in high school.
I'll tell him you said
And
what's up from time to time. I mean, I
yeah,
didn't know
because you can
Carl.
still hang
I
out with
didn't know
him.
Carl. Yeah.
Yeah, you could just kinda be the in-between. Yeah, I think that I do not wanna be stuck in the state of Kentucky for the rest of my life.
What are you supposed to tell your
And
kids?
to be
Kids,
fair
it's vacation. We're going to Mammoth Cave every summer now.
oh, and
We're
you
going
can
to the Corvette Museum.
go to the Florence Freedom game.
You can't even go to Reds or Bengals
You can
games.
go to
You can't even go to
Dinosaur World.
Dude, you
No,
couldn't even go to Bengals games anymore.
no, we're gonna have to figure out a way to buy the team to bring them across the river. Promise them a new stadium and across the river. That'd be the only way to
Yeah, sorry
watch
for
them play in person.
anybody that I knew before the end of college, but you're out.
Yeah,
Sorry, Carl.
yeah, that's about it. Sorry, Carl, I guess.
You, yeah. Is that it? Is he the only one?
I mean, for the most part, that I still really hang out with. There's other guys that I guess I talk to, but and to be fair, Carl never goes out anymore, anyways. So he just so.
That was a
Yes.
rather easy. That's a rather easy. What would Joe do?
The other one that he talked about is you get one condiment for you can only use one condiment for the rest of your life. What would you pick? And
Go ahead.
I'm not a huge condiment guy. Like I know some people are just put ranch on everything. I'm not a big ranch guy.
I'm not either.
Like on my hot dogs, my hamburgers, my turkey sandwiches, I like to put mustard on it. It's pretty versatile. That sounds like a really boring selection to go yellow mustard.
I go.
Uh,
I'm gonna go ketchup. I'm not
but
putting
you
ketchup
can't.
on.
But you can't put ketchup on a turkey sandwich.
I don't put
You can't
anything
put
on
ketchup
turkey.
on a ham sandwich.
I don't put anything on my sandwiches anyway, so I'm good there.
Seems dry.
I'm a dry sandwich guy.
What do you put on your hot dog? Do you put ketchup on a hot dog?
Straight ketchup.
Okay,
Ketchup on burgers, ketchup on hot dogs. I mean, I'm a barbecue sauce on chicken fingers and stuff, but you know what? Ketchup's fine on fried chicken or
it's
like
lame.
tenders and
It's
stuff.
so bland on that though. Like ketchup is for
You
fries.
get to
it's
pick one, Nick. You get to pick one.
I
What?
know.
I
I'm trying
hear
to
you,
figure out
but
what it is. Like for fries, ketchup is perfect. I would miss ketchup when eating fries. I don't want to dip it in mustard.
Erica dips her fries in mustard.
Who does? Eric?
Honey
I don't
mustard.
want. I don't want to do that.
She's a honey mustard person.
So I guess I guess I'm still going mustard just because it's more versatile. It's also there's no calories in mustard. It's good for you. There's no sugar. Like it's a healthy condiment. But when I'm eating my fries, I think that's when I would. And then, do I get to have the hot mustard at McDonald's with if I go
Nope.
mustard?
Nope. Nope.
So do you only get one brand mustard or just one type
You
of
don't get
mustard?
like mustard doesn't mean yellow mustard, honey mustard, hot mustard, Grey Poupon. with some
Because
gravy
that would be
falling
the
over
move.
there.
That would be the move if you could do that. I could live with
That's
that.
cheating. No, you don't get that. You don't get that. You get one type of mustard.
Ooh, I didn't forget about for salads. That I would never be able to eat a salad again.
Well, I guess you're gonna be a soup guy from now on. The soup du jour.
I love salads, but I'm not gonna pick blue cheese as my condiment.
You could put mustard on a salad.
Honey mustard?
Yep. So, was that the kind of mustard you're gonna go with?
I don't want honey mustard on my hot dogs.
Eat a plain hot. You gotta eat a dry hot dog then.
Dude, I do eat a
That
lot of
sounds awful.
salads. This is tougher than I thought. Like, what do you put on your salads? You gonna put ketchup on them?
Bro, I don't eat salad. What are you talking?
How you
Salads
get
are
that
for
figured
rabbit. I
in?
don't eat rabbit food. Those are for rabbits in the backyard.
God, you're right. We gotta quit this. We're up to an hour and a half. We gotta end this madness.
Go to the kitchen and make you a salad.
But I'm not doing that. I'm not eating. It's already what 10:30. I will not be eating a salad at 10:30 at night. But before we end this madness, just a reminder: subscribe to the Height Differential. How do you listen to pods? iHeart, Amazon, Spotify, Apple Music. Rate and leave a review. Dude, those reviews matter. It helps more people see the show. And then follow us on social at Height Differential. Happy March Madness to everybody. We'll be back here, I guess, hopefully next. I don't know. It depends on when the women's games are scheduled.
We do not want to be back on here next Monday. I promise you that. We are Saturday, Monday.
We will be here at some point next week.
Next Monday, we are hopefully playing in an Elite Eight.
We didn't even get into the fact that it's baseball starts this week. Happy opening day. Reds opening day on Thursday.
The entire pitching staff's hurt. Doesn't matter.
Both the Atlanta Braves and Reds, the entire pitching staffs are already hurt. But that's enough. We got to get out of here. For the 6-6 deal, I am the 410 Nick. We appreciate you listening. We will talk to you at some point next week.
Give it to me.
Hey, you gonna be down there in the red hat?
Yeah.
You're gonna be on the field.
Yeah.
With your oven mitt. You got the oven mitt on?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. Dude, I'm doing the whole season.
Dude, you're gonna be down there in this big ass red hat and a big orange oven mitt, just waving your arms around.
I'm gonna hate it.
Nobody's even gonna be able to see you.
I know, that's a problem.
I mean, like, he's like at the other end of the field. And you're like, oh, there he is.
Well, dude, I might get fired after the first game for that.